That's how they talk to me from New Mexico and Nevada and all that. I ain't got Marvin Asuna got that JF down yet. You're working on it, right, Marvin? Yeah. Okay, I got to get going because it's just going. I don't know all of you, but I think you'll know me after we get done with this. I got a lot to cover, and I'm going to go pretty fast because I run out of time. I don't always stay with my notes, so follow my heart when I talk. But I do have some academic stuff for you. I am an academic. I come from 30 years working at a college where I was a professor and I was a vice president at that college. And I retired, and I moonlighted coming here and hanging out with you guys from 2012 to 2017. So 5 years. You know, I don't know if you know anything about working for the state, but they don't let you work a second job, okay? They monitor your income. And so I have to sign all these papers. And I met Andy, and I came and spoke at an event like this, and he says, man, I'd like you to keep coming back. He says, I'll pay you. I said, I can't get paid. He goes, I think that's the most confused look I've ever seen on his face. I can't get paid. He goes, what if I just pay you kind of under the table, man? I said, they can't find out about it, brother. He goes, it's just going to be between me and you. So now I can tell you. I didn't want a lot. I was just saying, you know, he says, I'll give you whatever. I said, about $1,000 a month. And he paid me that. And that was money. It helped me survive those 5 years. Jane knows, working for the state, man, you don't get rich. You don't get rich teaching. But he was nice enough to give me that. And then I remember going to him in 2017. I said, I'm retiring now. And he goes like, well, I tell you what, how about you work 3 or 4 days here? You know, because I had other gigs, worked for LabCorp, I worked for Chick-fil-A, and I worked for Honda and Walmart. I worked for a lot of companies. And he said, I wrote down on a piece of paper how much I wanted, and I handed it to him. And he looked at it and he goes, can't pay that. I said, huh. He goes, I won't pay that. I said, oh, okay. I didn't know what to say. And he goes, I'm going to pay double that. And that was the start of a beautiful relationship, you know. He's also become a good friend, and he and I we know each other very well. And I know Jane very well, and I know their children, and I'm privileged to be a part of this. And I'll tell you a little bit why I'm privileged later, but I got to get started. So this, you can see the name of it, right? Basically what we're going to learn is some coping skills today. And we're going to learn to cope with 4 enemies. One of them is doubt. You're going to meet doubt today. And then we're going to talk about procrastination as the second enemy. And the third enemy is regret. And the fourth one is deviation. And they come in that order because one creates the next one. I call it like they hand off the baton. Once you defeat doubt, procrastination, their evil twin brother, is waiting on you next, right? So I'm going to show you how to cope with these 4, but that's what this fancy name is. We had to come up with fancy names about it, make it sound military. So that's what I did. Right. 4 steps of developing this mental armor. This is kind of like my syllabus or outline for you today. And the person that put this together, Pam, she helps me. You guys are on my calls. You know Pam. I mean, I can't do any of this without Pam. Yeah. So it starts off, the 4 steps are, we got to make a decision. Then after the decision is the commitment, and after the commitment is consistency and completion. Now that all just sounds really fine and dandy, and you guys are looking at that like, well, see, you know, there's a lot going on here. Some of you are dealing with consistency problems. If you are, then we need to go back. We need to go backwards. Wherever you're at on here, you need to go back to the one before it, because you really hadn't figured it out. You hadn't figured out your commitment. If you hadn't figured out commitment, it's because you hadn't really made a decision yet. So I just want to start with decision real quick and tell you that here's the problem with the decision. and you guys have heard me on the calls talk about this, and I told some of you that's on my calls, don't come in here, go to the other one. Y'all hear me all the time. But you come in here anyway. I'm happy that you're, Kenny, I'm happy you're here. All right, so it's a want versus a need discussion. Too many times when we recruit people and we have conversations with them, we put the cart before the horse, and I really do care about what you want, and I know Andy's coin says, what do you want? But it's a little bit premature, because some of you get into this want mentality, and you're trying to move a mountain, and you tell me, I'm going to move this mountain. I'm like, can you just tell me what you need right now? I just want to know how much money do you need to survive and have a little bit extra to go on this vacation. I need you to stay in a need mentality before you start giving me all these dreams and stuff. I talk to so many agents, and they go, I'm like, can you just write me one app? And they'll go, they look like offended. Like, I can do better than that. I'm like, you're not doing better than that. But I can. You're demotivating me, man. You know, when you really make people mad in the South, they'll go, man, a lot. You demotivating me, man. And I'm like, I'm not trying to. I just want you to move a rock. Can we move a rock before we start moving a mountain? Can you write me just one app? I can write 10. I'm like, here we go. This delusion that you guys have, some of you. Just write a damn app. And then come back the next day and let's talk about it. Go talk about that mountain. All right. Need versus want. That's that decision. Some of you need to get realistic with that decision. Then that commitment becomes a little bit easier, because commitment is all about you're going to set priorities now. You're committing to buying leads. You're committing your time. That commitment is important, because if you don't have a commitment, you're not going to be consistent on your journey from point A to point B, which is consistency. And that journey is full of habits. This is when you introduce habits during the consistency stage. But I want you to know, you don't create a new habit without getting rid of a bad habit. You get rid of a bad habit and replace it with a good habit, okay? And then consistency then leads to completion. And I think some of you are like, completion? Yeah, some of you need to think about getting results. Quick wins in the beginning and constantly getting results, because nothing fuels routine, because habits lead to routine. Nothing fuels a routine better than a result. You want to keep a routine alive, you better get some results. If you don't get results, your routine goes out the window. Then you go backwards and you bring back those bad habits. Then you go back and make these idle promises to me with these commitments. And then I go back and go, have you decided to do this? Not really. I'm like, you ghosted me for 3 months on the calls. Where have you been? So what we're going to see, here's the whole thing. If I get you to make a decision, I'm really getting you to try to have the nerve to do something different than you've been doing. Have the nerve, and that nerve activates your confidence. And guess what confidence does? It kills doubt. That's the only thing that will kill doubt, the first enemy we're going to talk about. Then commitment. Commitment, once you make a commitment, it gets you to have the urge. You get the nerve to do it. Some of you are going to get the nerve leaving here, because that nerve is like an emotional decision. You're going to walk away with the nerve. You're going to go back and go, I'm going to tell Jeff, so I'm going to do all this stuff because this place fired me up. Then you get back and your commitment dies on the vine because you don't really have the urge. You had the nerve from the conference, and the nerve can come from everybody in this room. We'll help you with the nerve, but you're going to have to do your part and get the urge. And the urge activates initiative. And initiative is the only thing that'll kill procrastination. It's the only thing that'll do it. Then consistency is the acceptance. The acceptance of what? 3 premises. If you can't accept these 3 premises, you're not going to be able to master the mundane, and you're not going to be consistent. And the 3 premises are, I need you to realize and say it to yourself every day. Life ain't fair, and I'm getting used to it, because it ain't fair. If you want fair, go to the state fair and go bet on a prize-winning pig or something. There ain't no fair in this world. Life ain't fair, and it's never going to be. As soon as you say that, you are free. And the second premise is nobody owes you a damn thing in this world. And the third premise is nobody is put on this earth to make you happy, including your spouse. You need to make yourself happy so that you don't make your spouse walk on eggshells and they go, I married the wrong one. They're bringing me down. Then you stay married to them because you had kids with them, and then you're miserable for 30 years, then you get a divorce. Hey, I don't think we should let people get married unless both parties are happy with themselves. Happy people marry unhappy people, and then they're miserable. I think we should make unhappy people marry unhappy people. Yeah, if you can say those three premises, you won't blame anymore, and you'll take accountability. Some of you need to take accountability and look in the mirror and go, it's on me. It ain't nobody else. It ain't my upline. It ain't nobody. It ain't the leads. It's me. And if you can take accountability for your life, you will never regret anything that ever happens. Completion, the results. Man, nothing creates discipline and keeps it alive more than results. Then results is what creates routine. And routine will keep you from deviating. Some of y'all are too smart in the beginning for your own good, and you walk around going, I ain't going to buy leads. I'm going to run off flyers and stick them on cars. Well, good luck with that. That ain't how Quincy does it. No. Follow the system. Don't deviate. Later on, 3 years from now, you go, I figured out a new way. Congratulations, but move me some rocks before you start deviating. All right, so that's my little outline. Here's my little, I don't have time to go through all these quotes, but I mean, I just put them on to kind of introduce everything, right? Just kind of ease you into it. So that's a cool, I like that quote. So let's look at doubt, and I broke it down. I hope y'all like this. I broke it down into 4 lies that doubt will tell you, and then here's the coping skill to the right. Does that make sense? Y'all follow? I know it's little. I'll read them out to you. First lie doubt's going to tell you is I must not. Well, they want you to tell yourself I must not fail. And then the second one is I feel like a fake. It's all down to luck, and success is no big deal. That's doubt's weapons to keep you in one place and not moving. Now, which one of those is problematic? They're all kind of problematic. I think, failures, they don't want you to fail. But we must fail in order to succeed. So, and doubt doesn't like that type of mentality. So I feel like a fake. That's a big one. Here's a quote. I don't want to go through each one of these. This is like a 2-hour talk, but I feel like a fake. I'll quote the Bible here, okay, if that's all right. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, going as we do by faith and not by sight, we are full of confidence. All right, so what does that mean? Seeing is faith. Looking is sight. The quote is telling us, quit looking at yourself in the mirror and start seeing yourself. If you look long enough, you're going to find a lot of things you don't like. You're going to see all the wrinkles and all the warts. You're going to see all that. But you got to see past that and see your potential. Some of you are still looking. That's why you don't have faith to take that leap of faith. You're still looking. You're still looking. And hey, you'll leave here, go some other meeting, and you'll start looking somewhere else. You're always going to be chasing something like a dog chasing a car. You ain't never going to catch it. You got to make a decision. Am I going to take a chance on this today? And it's all about faith. Down to luck. Hell, I think we make our own luck. I don't think there is I think luck's an illusion. I don't think it's real. I really don't. I got to read you this this is funny about luck. Hold on a second. I got it. Y'all got to realize I'm an otter, so I'm not that organized. Okay. On Google, the definition of luck means success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions or experiences. When you put things into perspective, the term luck comes into play when you get a surprise of success. No, y'all, you guys should not be surprised by your success, because if you put the effort in, it shouldn't be a shock that you get success. That's why the heck we put people on stage, because we're trying to get you out of being shocked that this can work. If you don't know, I mean, we're doing this on purpose. This is real intentional. We put people that are succeeding on this stage. Because some of you are like, I'm not sure about this. This looks like these are orchestrated. I'm telling you, Jeff Schultz is not a paid actor. We did not find him in Hollywood and bring him up here. He actually makes money, right? The secret to every lucky person is hard work, consistent seeking of new opportunities and good choices that result from proper judgment, which manifest from the learned lessons of life. That's luck. And it's not luck. Judgment, good judgment will create luck. All right? Then success is no big deal. You know what? Yeah, that's doubt's biggest lie. They don't want you to go, you're doing good, this is working. You know, when something works, why are we so surprised that it works? Why? Because doubt is still got a hold of you. If you look over the other side, you'll see the coping skills. I just say stop. Convince yourself to learn from your pain and your setbacks. I love this German proverb. He who has once burnt his mouth always from then on blows on his soup. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparisons are odious. They are offensive. They are damaging to your psyche. Look for the good in your performance. Get a boost by making hard choices. Nothing will boost your confidence more than making a hard choice. You get adrenaline when you make a hard choice. If you're afraid of hard choices, you're going to become a constant pessimist, not an optimist. I got a quote for that. Oscar Wilde, the great eccentric playwright Oscar Wilde, said, pessimist, one who, when he has the choice of two evils, chooses both of them. And please celebrate your wins. You know, take time every day to recognize the ground you've taken. Celebrate that. That's my doubt thing, okay? Procrastination. There's a good quote, Edward Young. All these people are like my heroes. I intentionally pull these quotes out. These are my heroes, you know? So procrastination. Let's look at procrastination here. Wow. Doubt is not through with you. So doubt, you defeated doubt. You got some confidence and you defeated doubt. Doubt goes, okay, not so fast. Let procrastination take over. And some of you are just sleeping beside procrastination every night, you know? What's the quote here? What's the lie? It's too hard, too scary, too painful. What is that code for? Too hard? The work looks like it's hard. It is hard. I'm not lying to you. This is hard and it's complex. It's scary. It is scary because it's unknown. Some of you never done this before. And it's too painful. Yeah, you're going to be exposed. Your weaknesses are going to be exposed. So if you can't handle that, go on back and start procrastinating back home. But realize this is a lie, but it's also true at the same time. All right, delaying it will make it feel better. Don't we know that procrastination tells us that one, right? Yeah. Well, Maximilian Robespierre said, upon deciding, be quick to act. Do not let space happen in between your decisions. 48 hours is about as much as we need before I tell you to go get an app. Don't call me back 2 weeks later. I got one. No, that's not good enough. Go get one. Doing it right away is a punishment. Boy, I've fell victim to that in my life. I don't know if y'all have. But I convinced myself doing it right now. There's something better I can do, a distraction that can get me not thinking about, oh, this is standing over and against me. Being in college, I had a lot of those things around me, and I would go, I'm going to put that term paper off to the last minute. Some of us put things off to the last minute. Procrastination said, I got a great quote here. Procrastination means paying twice the price when you eventually must act on it anyway. Right? And if you wait, it'll go away. No, it's just going to grow. It's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse, right? So that my coping skills, do the one thing. The one thing. Find that one thing. What is that one thing? Nothing is more, Napoleon said, nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious than be able to decide and decide quickly. So, what is that one thing? I call it, this is my coping skill here, I call it the worst to first approach. Go find the worst thing you got to do in the list of crap you got to do and do that first. Then go back to the easy stuff. Then go do something hard, go back. Worst to first. Just keep switching back and forth. Create clarity with consequence. Listen, here's a great quote. In nature, there are neither rewards nor punishments. There are just consequences. That's all this is. Our whole life is built upon consequences. What I suggest here as a coping skill is what I call the positive and negatives. So if we want to create consequence, every day make a list of all the things that you're going to do and how those are the positive things that are going to have positive consequences on your day, on your week, on your month. Make a list of the negative things, right? We are so affected by the list of negative things. Let the positive things for the first time in your life be the consequences, not what drives you is the negative. Positive and negatives. And then done is better than perfect. God, just get it done. You're going to put it off if you don't. The essence of being human, George Orwell said, is that one does not seek perfection. I implemented in my life what is called the 5-minute plan. When I used to write books, boy, don't ever write a book. Because writing a book, you want to talk about procrastination. You get writer's block and all that crap, And I hated it, but I would force myself, even when I was distracted, I would go, I'm going to sit down right now and I'm going to write for 5 minutes. Go, whatever you're procrastinating, go attack it when you get back and do just 5 minutes. Now, I guarantee you that 5 will turn into 6 or 7 because once I started writing, I'm like, well, hell, I'm already here. And my cat, Gemma, that always sits with me when I would write, she's laying on all my papers, and she's ready to, be writing because she thought she was helping me write. So I just stayed there, and that 5 minutes turned into 30 minutes. You'll trick yourself because you're going, I'm only going to go 5 minutes. And then don't wait for inspiration. Here's a great quote. Anxiety and fear and all those bad things that cause us to procrastinate is the space between 2 points, now and then. Don't get caught in between those worlds. Just don't. Start your now and I got 3 questions to help you start your now. What did Al Michaels say? This is truly American right here. Do you believe in miracles? That's my first question. And if you do you believe you're a miracle? And thirdly, then why the hell not are you trying to be your own miracle? That's how you stay in the present and don't get caught between now and then. All right, that's procrastination, guys. Let's say we're going to regret. Okay. Great quote by Charles Dickens. Great quote there. I don't have time to explain all that, so I just don't. We got to go to, all right, regret. It's too late to rewrite history. Is it? Is it really? I've done this experiment on stages all over the country and had people build me little time machines, I bring people on stage, and I told them they could go in my time machine and go in there for 15 minutes and change things that happened in their past. What was disturbing about that is these people came up there, actually thought it was a time machine, and they were going back. I'd be charging a whole lot more money if that was true. But they came up there, and about 85% of them went back they went in there and came out. And I said, you got to go back and meet your former self. And and some of you, I was like, I don't think they're going to recognize you if you go back too far. But, and that was supposed to be a joke, and Jared got it. So, you got it, yeah. Yeah, when Jared laughs at your joke, then, it's going dark. Yeah, so they get in there and they come out, and what was sad is the thing that they wanted to change, that they wanted to go meet their former self when they met their first wife or husband that they're now divorced from. They wanted to go tackle their former self because they knew the party they were going to meet them at. And they went and said, oh, they're about to go in. They tackled them into the bushes, hit them over the head, so they couldn't meet this person. And I'm like, boy, that is dark, Y'all got some serious crap going on in your life. So I said, you do realize, do you have kids? Did you have kids with that person? You do realize that they would never have been born if you tackled your former self. Oh, that'd be a problem. When I do love my kids, I'm like, oh, yeah. You got to realize you don't need to go in my time machine. A regret wants you to go in that time machine. So it's not too late to rewrite your history. St. Augustine said, faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward for this faith is to see what you do believe. You can rewrite your history. It can't get worse. It can definitely get worse. Things can get worse. That's our problem. People don't have perspective in this world. I am very appreciative of my situation. I have seen people killing themselves on their jobs. I've been in 163 manufacturing plants. I have seen people in this world doing real work. And then when y'all complain about dialing, I just sit there and go, I need to take you to the die-cast department in Honda and let you meet the die-cast man, and you ain't going to complain about dialing anymore because you ain't got no perspective. And it's all my fault. That's just somebody looking for sympathy, Yeah. Most of what we want to be, we already are. You were born enough. But some of you accept the love you think you deserve. And you deserve better. You deserve better. And then I'll never do that again. Do what? Fail, right? I've never heard of anyone stumbling on anything while sitting down. Some of you just sit down way too much because you're afraid something might happen. Let's look at the coping skills. This is where I get to this story that I will struggle with here in a second, guys, because I've never shared this story with anybody. Catch the negative talk. Yeah. The trouble with most people is that they think with their irrational fears and their wishes rather than their rational minds and their hopes. Quit wishing. Hope is eternal. Wishing is what people that play the lottery do. Quit wishing your life away. Get some hope. Focus on gratitude. Live in the present. Forgive yourself of your past. I've always said have a funeral for your past. I said this in the agency manager meeting yesterday. I love Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso, and he talks about Walt Whitman saying this quote, and he never said that quote. I don't, TV, they take liberties. Actually, nobody knows who said this. Nobody knows, but it wasn't Walt Whitman. But we can give him credit if y'all want to. It sounds better. He said, be curious, not judgmental. Before I met you guys, I wasn't the same person you see here today. Not until 2009, I was not. I was angry. Most of my life. And I was very judgmental. And when you're judgmental, you don't start to see the good in people, and you don't seek out their opinions, and you're very stereotypical of the way you see the world. And so something happened to me when I was in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I don't know if you guys know, but 3.2 million kids in our schools are bullied every day. And I hate a bully because I was bullied as a 6th grader getting on a bus and getting sick every day because I had to get on that bus and had to ride that bus because I knew that this one guy was going to bully me, and he was in the 10th grade, and he was much bigger than me. I'm still not a big guy. I was really little then. I was really skinny, and I was like 135 or something like that. Well, I'm not much bigger than that now, Brandon, but you know, yeah, his name was it's not important, but it is important that I say it now. His name was Michael Coltrane, and he basically gave me a horrible 3 years, you know, till he got out of there. I just dreaded school. I hated school. I hated getting on that bus every day. It was demeaning. I felt bad about myself. I was embarrassed that I couldn't defend myself, and I never told my parents. I just lived with it, you know. So fast forward, and I think it caused me not to have a relationship with my father from age. He left us in a bad way, and from age 14 to age 49, I didn't reconnect with him all that years. I lost all those years, and because I was hating Michael Coltrane, and then I transferred that to hate my father. Then I hated anybody else that didn't agree with me. I was angry. Now, I will say that anger did help me get a tennis scholarship and beat the crap out of some people in tennis. So I used it, you know, and it paid for my school, and I wouldn't be here without that anger in some respects. But in pickleball now, yeah. And listen, Mike Guerra's a much better pickleball player than me. I once in a while can beat him, but he's much better than me. But so Michael Coltrane. So I don't know. You guys know that my story. I go around to companies and help train. So one of the companies I went to, I went everywhere. I went to hospice. Right? They have staff, so I had to train those people. Believe it or not, they don't get along either. Right? So I'm teaching them how to get along. And so I went there, and the nurses are the ones that don't get along the most. They really have a lot of drama going on. It's unbelievable how much in my life that I have been invited to everybody's drama, and including still here today. Y'all love me so much that you invite me in to your drama. So I know everybody's drama, and it's my secret, but it's a lot. So I go walking around with the nurses, and then I go by this room, you know, I see all these people. And when you go to hospice, you ain't got much time, right? Y'all know people have been put in hospice. And I go by, and I see a name on a name tag on the bed, and it says Michael Coltrane. 2009 now. Now, I ain't seen this guy since I was in 8th grade. And I said, that can't be the same one. So I was asking questions of the nurses, and it did check out. It was Michael Coltrane. So I thought, he looked like he was on auction thing, everything. And I thought, I'm going to go in here and just finish this thing. No. So I only got 8 minutes and stuff, so I got to speed up, all right? So it's all about forgiving yourself for your past. It's going to make sense in a second. So I go in there, and I introduce myself, and I sit down with him. And make a long story short, he told me he was sorry, and he told me that, you know, I didn't know so I wasn't curious about him. I was just judging him as a bully, and he told me how his father beat him every day, and he took it out on me. You just don't know until you're curious, right? We stay judgmental, and, you know, I was there a lot training for that period of time, and so I would go in there, sit with him every day. And that was really kind of like therapy for me, you know? And we connected. We connected. And it's kind of weird. I mean, the one thing that was terrible in my life, now I've become friends with and come full circle, and we're connected. And yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool. So Michael had no family. He had been in prison a couple times. He had shot somebody, had been shot. He's going to die alone. But because I had access, I was allowed to go in there, and I was there. I was there when it happened. Yep. So I love William James, and he says, the art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. Be curious. Don't be judgmental. All right? And embrace the positive traits. I can't do that when I got 6 minutes and 55 seconds. So, okay. Look at this quote. What do y'all think about this quote? Yeah. There's a lot going on in that quote, isn't it? You got to quit listening to the voices and the noises, and you got to quit following the mob. You got to become your own person. Only you can dig yourself out of this hole. We can be there and do some rah-rahs with you, and we'll be there every step of the way, but, you got to quit following people that ain't good for you. That's that part of the association that goes on. So let's talk about deviation. Be a conformist. Being a conformist is a weak move. Some of you go, yeah, I don't want to be a conformist. I'm a rebel. I'm going to do what I want to do. I ain't listening to the man. I'm going to fight the man. I used to fight the man too until I figured out I can't win, and I'm just going to, let it go. But hey, you 20-somethings, fight the good fight. You're going to get about 40 or 50-something, you're going to realize, that was a waste of time. Because they're going to be what they're going to be. Y'all can post whatever you want on Facebook. You ain't changing the world. I watch y'all's Facebook, and I'm thinking, what the hell are they doing? Do they really think they're going to change something because they put something out there? Breaking news, I found it out. I've never seen it on the news. I've just learned it's easier to be a conformist. And righteousness outweighs purpose. Here's Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul says, God's wisdom is something mysterious that goes deep into the interior of his purposes. What did Apostle Paul mean by that? I hate to be speaking for Apostle Paul, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. The reason you exist, and when you figure that out, suffocates your need to be right. That's what he was saying. Because some of you don't understand what a why is. You think you do, but you don't really know. Because it's two things. Why is made up of meaning and purpose. And some of you are chasing the purpose, and the meaning is the prerequisite to the purpose. The meaning is what you do every day. Some of you just need to do something and quit thinking about it and just do what somebody tells you to do and follow the routine and quit arguing with it. I was a good teacher. I taught for 30 years. I poured into my students, and I found meaning in mastering my craft. How about you find meaning in the beginning of being a good agent before you jump into being an entrepreneur like Jake and Veray were talking about? Find meaning in your craft. Hone your craft and do it well. And guess what? One day you'll find purpose in that meaning. And I did, because students would come to me after I was, I had them in class, and 2 or 3, 4 years later, they come back and said, guess what, Mr. Bright, your class changed my life. I went on, I've got my bachelor's degree, I've got my master's, I'm living my best life. That is when I found out what my purpose was, because I spent all those years honing my craft and being a good professor, a good teacher. Find meaning in what you do from when you walk out of here, and your purpose will be revealed to you. Quit looking for a why. It ain't lost. It ain't a damn Easter egg hunt. Go do your craft, and your God will reveal your purpose. Normal is not normal. Yeah, deviation, they're going to tell you that normal is not normal. There is normal. We could all agree on normal. If somebody ran through here naked right now, and I hope they don't, I think we'd say that's a little abnormal. We can find some stuff we agree about, right? I like this quote. It isn't that they can't see the solution. It is that they can't see the problem. Some of you are trying to find solutions to your problems, and you don't even know what the problem is. Figure out what the problem is. Chasing a solution without establishing what the problem is not normal. All right? And then the last one here is free will is a right. Yeah, deciding to do something, making that decision is your free will, working right before our very eyes. But commitment after that decision requires obedience. Some of you want to have free will during the commitment stage. It's only in the decision stage. Then you've got to yield to obedience. And then the coping skills here, I got a minute. Take the path most traveled. Take the path that everybody else has paid for you, that Terry Edwards has paid for you, and quit arguing with him about the path that worked for him. I love this quote. Thomas Fuller says, "Let not thy will roar when thy power can but whisper." Quit talking about it and just do something. Be realistic with your goals. I'm going to move on. Establish routines and become a part of the collective we. I love this quote about that. An agreeable companion on a journey is as good as a carriage. That's an old quote that says, you know what? Lean on each other. Lean on the people in this room. Become a part of the collective we. Chick-fil-A's motto that I learned when I go to Atlanta is that nobody is bigger than Chick-fil-A. And if you think you are, we don't need you here. That's their secret sauce. That's what makes those young people that they pay they're 16, they pay them minimum wage, and they're different than the ones I get at McDonald's. It's the same teenagers. They just put on a damn different uniform. Chick-fil-A's culture is different, and it's intentional. It's intentional. Yeah. Free will, the ability to decide to do otherwise. How about when you leave here, you exercise some of that and decide to do otherwise? Thank you. I appreciate your time.